It's lonely sometimes. It's looking at your habits and finally admitting this coping mechanism is destroying me. This relationship is draining me. This mindset is keeping me stuck. This fear is costing me my future. And the hardest part, you can't unknow what you finally became aware of. Once your eyes open, you cannot force your soul to stay asleep. That's why some of you feel uncomfortable in the places you used to tolerate. You've outgrown environments that once matched your wounds. And yes, growth can feel lonely, but lonely and aligned is still healthier than emotional, crowded, and spiritually empty. Welcome to Win-Win with Gwen, hosted by Gwendolyn Shores, author, inspirational speaker, transformational coach, and CEO of Minds Above Matters. This is the podcast where your dreams ignite, limits shatter, and action leads to the life that you deserve. Your breakthrough starts now. There are moments in life where you smile in public, but privately, you are one more disappointment away from breaking. And what nobody tells you is sometimes your breakthrough doesn't arrive looking powerful. Sometimes it walks into your life looking like a random conversation, maybe even a delayed moment or a stranger that just says something exactly that your soul needed to hear. Tonight's episode is for the person who has been carrying pain quietly, the one that's been wondering if all the pressure is ever going to turn into purpose. Because what if the thing trying to break you is actually introducing you to the version of yourself you prayed for? Stay with me because this one is going to hit home. I have to tell you this, and honestly, you're probably not even going to believe it. It's one of those truth is stranger than fiction type of stories. And this story is just going to stay with you. So picture this. It's pouring, and I don't mean a cute little drizzle. I mean that heavy, the sky is falling, miserable rain that makes everything feel like 100 pounds, that kind of rain. So there's this woman. She's stuck. She's sitting in her car, hands white-knuckled and holding the steering wheel tight, just clutching it so hard that her hands are actually hurting. She's a mess. Mascara just running all down her face. Her phone was on silent because she literally could not handle one more person asking her for something. You ever been there? And get this, she's the one who's always there for everyone, the fixer, right? Helping, loving, saving. But now that she's the one drowning, it's dead silence. Bills are piling up, her heart is in pieces, and she just feels like she's done. She looks in the rearview mirror and doesn't even know who the girl is anymore that she's staring at. So she whispers something, and this is the crazy part. She says, I can't do this anymore. Not like she wanted to end it, she just was exhausted from carrying the world while nobody was carrying her. But wait, it gets crazy. Out of nowhere, knock, 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 knock on her window. Bam, bam, bam. She nearly jumps out of her skin. There's this old woman standing there in the rain with an umbrella, just motioning for her to roll down her window, hit and roll it down. So she cracks it just a little bit, right? And the stranger, I'm telling you, like an angel or something, just smiles and says, baby, don't leave before the miracle happens. That's it. One sentence, then she hands her this damp napkin. And listen to what it said. You survived 100% of your hardest days already. Don't quit before your life changes. And then she just walks away, disappears in the rain. But check this out. That weird tiny moment, it changed everything. Years later, that same broken woman that sat in their car, she is now a woman on stage. She is now writing books, speaking to other people. It's wild, right? Sometimes your whole life hinges on not giving up in that specific miserable moment. What do you think? Have you ever had one of those napkin moments in your life where a total stranger said exactly what you needed to hear? It could even be on a quote, a Facebook quote or a YouTube quote or something like that. Have you ever had that moment? Guys, welcome back to the Win-Win with Gwen podcast, the place where we do the work that creates real transformation. I'm your host, and I'm Coach Gwendolyn Shores. I am the author of the book, Get Beat to Get Better, award-winning inspirational speaker, and somebody who truly believes your pain does not get the final say over your life. And guess what, guys? I see you. I love you, and I believe in you 101%. And until you learn to believe in yourself like that, here you go. Just borrow my belief for a little while because I've got you. And today we are talking about what happens when life pushes you to the edge, but purpose pulls you back. You know what I'm saying? Purpose is an amazing thing, and ain't it good to have it in our life? Look, there is something people don't talk about enough. The strongest people are often the most exhausted because strong people learn how to function while bleeding internally. People clap for your strength without realizing your strength was born from survival. And somewhere along the way, you stop asking yourself, am I okay? You just keep moving. That's dangerous now because eventually the human spirit gets tired of performing wellness while carrying unhealed pain. And I know there are people listening right now. I know you're listening who feel exactly like that. You're waking up tired, smiling tired, posting tired, praying tired. You've become so used to disappointment that hope itself feels risky. But hear me carefully. Because your season got heavy, you are not behind because healing took time, and you are not weak because you finally reached your emotional limit. Sometimes the breakdown is the interruption that your soul needs. Some of you have spent years abandoning yourself, trying to keep relationships alive, trying to prove your worth, trying to earn love that should have been given freely. You understand? Love shouldn't cost a thing. You've been trying to save people who were committed to misunderstanding you. And somewhere inside of all of that chaos, you disappeared. That's why healing feels unfamiliar. Because now you have to meet yourself again, not the survival version, not the trauma adapted version, the real you, the peaceful you, the joyful you, the emotional you, the version of you that doesn't have to beg for love, attention, validation, or basic respect. You with me? That version exists. And sometimes life has to break the illusion before you can reveal the truth. See, people think transformation is pretty. It ain't pretty, baby. Transformation can be ugly. Transformation is grieving old versions of yourself while trying to become someone new at the same darn time. It's lonely sometimes. It's looking at your habits and finally admitting this coping mechanism is destroying me. This relationship is draining me. This mindset is keeping me stuck. This fear is costing me my future. And the hardest part, you can't unknow what you finally became aware of. Once your eyes open, you cannot force your soul to stay asleep. That's why some of you feel uncomfortable in the places you used to tolerate. You've outgrown environments that once matched your wounds. And yes, growth can feel lonely, but lonely and aligned is still healthier than emotional, crowded, and spiritually empty. Woo! Somebody needed to hear that today. You have to stop confusing familiar pain with love. I know that hit somebody hard because many of us were taught survival before we were taught emotional safety. And baby, emotional safety matters. So chaos started feeling normal. Inconsistency started feeling exciting. Bare minimum effort started feeling acceptable. And now healing feels boring because your nervous system got addicted to emotional instability. But peace is not boring. Peace is healthy. And there comes a moment where you stop asking, who's going to love me? and you start asking, why did I abandon myself for people who never knew how to love me correctly? That question changes everything, sweetheart. Because now healing becomes personal. Now growth becomes necessary. Now boundaries stop feeling mean and start feeling holy. Some people lost access to you because they mishandled your heart. And that's okay, because everybody cannot go where you're going, sweetheart. You cannot carry dead weight into a living future. And I know that hurts sometimes because you love these people genuinely. But everybody you loved is not assigned to your destiny. Some people were lessons, some were mirrors, some were warnings, and some were preparation. But you are still here for a reason, and that reason matters. It matters so much. You know what I've learned? People who survive dark seasons carry different kinds of wisdom. Not motivational quote wisdom, just real wisdom. The kind that teaches you how to sit with the hurting people. The kind that teaches compassion. That kind that makes you softer without making you weaker. Because healed people don't just heal themselves. They become safe places for other people too. That's why this podcast is about creating a safe place where people can heal honestly. Not perfectly. Stop trying to be perfect, honey. If nobody told you lately, you deserve a life that does not consistently wound you. You deserve peace. You deserve healthy love. You deserve clarity. You deserve rest. You deserve joy without guilt. And yes, you deserve another chance at life, another chance at happiness. Because one bad chapter does not disqualify your entire story. Some of the greatest people walking this earth right now almost gave up, almost quit, almost settled, almost stayed broken. But almost is not the end. You get it? Almost is not the end. And believe this. There are people listening right now standing at the edge of a breakthrough they cannot even see yet. That's why the enemy attacks your mind first. Because if he can convince you to quit early, you'll never meet the version of yourself waiting on the other side of healing. And baby, it looks good over there. But you are going to meet that version. I have no doubt. You're going to meet the stronger version, the wiser version, the emotionally healthier version, the version that finally realizes I was never too much. I was just giving myself to people who lack the capacity to value me. Woo! Somebody pause this episode and breathe after that one. Because that truth right there, that truth can change your entire life. I'm going to need you to stop confusing familiar pain with love. Because you are not too much. You were pouring into people who lack the capacity to value you. Guys, my friends, my family, if this episode touched your spirit today, I need you to share this with someone who's quietly fighting a battle that they think no one can see. And if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, and turn on those notifications, guys, because we are building a healing community here. And I want you to drop in the comments, I survived my hardest days. Because I want people reading these comments to realize that they are not alone. Guys, I know life gets hard sometimes. I know sometimes some nights feel longer than others. But hear me clearly. There is still purpose in you. There is still greatness in you. There is still healing in you. And one day, the pain that almost broke you will become the testimony that helps somebody else survive. I see you. I'm going to remind you of that. I love you. You need to hear that. And I believe in you 101% until you believe in yourself fully. I want you to know that you can borrow my belief in you because you are going to make it through this. And as always, guys, it's always a win-win with Gwen. I will see you right back here next week, Friday, 6:15 a.m. like clockwork. And until then, you've got to do the work. And I want you to remember that. And if y'all want to say it with me before you go, let's say it. You've got to do the work. I love you guys. I'll see you next week.